Welcome to the Squad Sports Show. He's Icewater and Puma. Do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe to our page. We're here every week. We're going to talk some NFL football, college football, Major League Baseball, and we're going to talk some WNBA, and we have some other surprises for you. But we're going to start off with NFL football. And we did a lot better in our picks this week. We do have a pick show that we're going to be doing a little bit later, but we did better on our picks. You and Pop had 11-2 record, going this week, and we got two more games to go. But there were a few games that stood out to me that I really concentrated on watching. And one of the games was probably Sunday morning. Everybody was watching the Jets and the Broncos. And it was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch, but I noticed a lot of things that I noticed the previous week. And I'll hold that off till later. The other, I watched the Dallas Cowboys and the Panthers. I had the chance to watch them, and I didn't want to, watch Dallas 2 weeks in a row, but I wanted to see some things. I wanted to see whether or not they could really handle the run, and they gave me the answer. But what stood out to you in NFL football?
Real quick, Cowboys are the Cowboys. Your old player Rico ran over you crazy. Cowboys are the Cowboys. Even though Dak Prescott had a hell of a game, they are who they are. I had to say I'm very impressed. I'm not sure how far they're going to go by the Patriots. Patriots 25-19 win. Drake May 261 yards passing, three TDs. One other one would be Seattle. They find ways to get it done. They won 20-12. It's Darnold, the defense, and Jackson Smith and Jingle. And finally, not understanding how what's going on with Tennessee. I know they fired Callahan recently, which was bizarre. Remember him when he was a Cincinnati offensive coordinator, but not sure what's going to happen down there in Tennessee.
Yeah. I was looking at Broncos Jets and noticing what was happening on the sidelines with the coach as well as the game. You can't protect our guy, our quarterback, and your kicker, you don't have any faith in your kicker. I tend to believe that it's the coaching. The coach is over his head, and with the Jets, he's in over his head. They had some close games this season. They continue to have close games, but I continue to see him make decisions that are not helping his team in critical times in the game. And I wanted to watch that and see that. I saw it before at halftime when they had about 30 seconds on the clock, and he was letting the clock run out without them trying to do something to put some points on the board. I just think in critical parts of the game, he's not there or he's zoned out. And even the players are making comments and going to him like, hey, coach, let's do this, let's do that. They're used to doing things during that particular time. And I see people trying to blame Justin Fields. And I can't put all the blame on Justin Fields, even though sometimes he holds the ball too long. I'm watching him with the receivers are not open. I'm watching him where offensive line, they can't protect him. And it's almost like he's getting shell shocked back there because he was sacked 9 times. 9 times. And then at the end of the game, where you could have kicked a field goal, okay, I understand that you didn't have trust in your field goal kicker, but what makes you think you're going to make that fourth down play, passing the ball, when you haven't been protecting the quarterback all game?
I think part of it is the issue for me is even though I want to look at Aaron Glenn as the head coach, why do you have coordinators?
Yeah.
If you know what's going on in the offensive line, it is the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach to tighten that up. And that means you have to go out and get you some dudes that's some replacements or whatever on that line to be tough enough. You owe it to your quarterback to do that. Now, granted, overall, it is the head coach's issue, but overall, what am I paying you for as a position coordinator? What am I paying you for if you can't protect our quarterback? And a lot of it is that I think they're decent enough to make a run or at least try to be decent to win games, but it's a mess over there right now.
Yeah, it's a mess because your defense held the Denver's pretty good offensive team to 13 points. And you can't figure out a way to score more than 13 points to win that game, a winnable game that you could have won, making bonehead mistakes, can't protect the quarterback. Your defense is out there tired. And this is, I'm going to go back to the Dallas Panthers game. I feel that if you can run the ball on Dallas, you can win every game. You can punish that defense, you can win every game. Parsons is not there anymore. Whoever's replacing him and the defensive scheme, It's not working over there anymore. What surprised me is the New York Giants last week. I did not see that coming on Thursday night. Dart and Scatterboo have become, folk heroes in New York. Everybody's buying Scatterboo jerseys, and I like Scatterboo. I liked him when he was with Arizona State. I spoke highly of him then when I saw him during a bowl game, and I'm like, whoever gets this guy, he's got something special, and he is something special. He makes that team click. He has his attitude. He has that kind of like Jim Belushi, Animal House kind of thing going, in my opinion. Your thoughts on any other games that stood out to you?
I like that. I'm gonna stay with you. I like Scatterboo. I think the way that he plays hard. He's an old school John Riggins type. Walt Garrison. Y'all better Google that for those that don't know that.
Yeah,
Google that. Walt Garrison and John Riggins, Larry Zonka type. Just hard nosed football players, band-aids across the nose because they've been cut, and it's almost like they love contact. And those are the type of players, no matter what level of football that you're at and how we run into NIL days or whatnot, you still need football players. Physicality matters still in football, and that's who he is.
yeah. Let's go to college football with the Ohio State Buckeyes hung on to that number one spot, followed by Miami. Indiana proved that, hey, we can hang with the big boys. They beat Oregon. They're at number three. You have Texas A&M at four, Ole Miss at five, Alabama putting the hurt on Missouri at six, Texas Tech. Nobody's talking about them, but if you get a chance, watch Texas Tech. They're a good team. They're at seven. Oregon drops to eight. Georgia moves up to nine. LSU is at 10. And you got Notre Dame. I'm keeping an eye on them because they keep sneaking them up the charts. They're at 13. I don't like that. I don't like that. But Texas is back in the top 25 after they beat Oklahoma. And they're at number 21. And USC, I had a chance to watch them last Saturday night. They're pretty impressive. And Pop was saying, hey, I think Michigan's going to get this game. I was like, Michigan can't stop the run at USC. And so I really like seeing them. I want to see how they do in the rest of the Big Ten and the rest of the season. Your thoughts on college football, man?
A lot going on. First of all, you got to think about that. Indiana wins the game at Oregon.
Yes.
That's huge for that program, mainly because of the factor that their quarterback Mendoza threw a pick six,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to come back down the field and drive for his team to win, and they win by 10 in Oregon. That's major for Indiana, big time. Florida State, though, can we be real?
Big
They're
disappointment.
more like paper, yeah, paper champions right now. And the factor that they're losing, so they lost to Pittsburgh, right? They got exposed. But maybe they just are not as good, they're not good enough to play on the with the marquee teams, right? I think they're a decent team. I just think more on the marquee level, maybe that's their shortcomings. The way that Missouri battled Bama back and forth and barely lost, was impressed by that. Some other things I'm gonna throw at you real quick. Don't look now. Don't look too fast or run too fast. Nebraska's 5-1.
Yeah.
Nebraska's 5-1. And when you're looking from that standpoint, you mentioned USC earlier. USC is 5-1. And other than that, Texas A&M is 6-0. And we got to talk about it. I'm gonna throw it out there. Penn State loses at home to Northwestern. I know the quarterback got hurt, but you lose that and you go out to UCLA and you give up almost 40 points to a team that was winless, and the writing was on the wall. I know we don't want to talk about that, but Franklin, I watched the press conference with the AD from Penn State, and he basically says his hands was tied. You
Yeah.
can't lose at home to Northwestern. You just cannot like that. Even though your quarterback went down, you're supposed to be more of an elite status. You were number three in the country earlier, or number two, what have you, earlier in the year, and you can't beat Northwestern.
Yeah, and great segue to that topic. Of course, Penn State let's go James Franklin, and he walks away with a buyout of $56 million. That seems to be the kind of trend with coaches who don't pan out in college football. They get a buyout, and I said it a couple of weeks ago when they lost that this is not what they were ranked number two coming into to the season, and they were losing. And especially when they lost against UCLA, I felt that if he lost one more game, embarrassing game, and this was it with Northwestern coming to Penn State and beating them in Penn State, I thought the nail was in the coffin at that particular point. And it almost seemed like the team kind of quit on him uh, because I know it was a close score with Northwestern, but it seemed like after that UCLA game, it was like the season's pretty much lost. They can't be looking at a playoff game after the season, and they'll be playing in a bowl that doesn't matter. So, do you think that he lost the team at some particular point?
That's a strong possibility, but there's so many variables involved, right? We don't know. You go out to Oregon, or actually you play Oregon, you lose, right? Lose to Oregon,
Right.
correct? Oregon, and then from that standpoint, you face UCLA. I think the UCLA was the nail in the coffin, if you will,
Yeah.
because of the factor that you're supposed to be a better team than that. And UCLA was winless. Their quarterback was under turmoil, transferring from Tennessee, and he makes a highlight tape off of you to
Yeah.
get ready for the
From a coach who
NFL.
didn't know how to use a headset. Yeah, it's like
Yes. So there's a lot going on there, but I'll say this. I think the biggest issue, even if he did lose the team, is the factor that this was the year for Penn State. They're supposed to make a run. They're supposed to try to win it all. They were all in. There's a lot of money spent to keep players around that could have possibly left, including the quarterback. Kept him around. You went out and got the defensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator at Ohio State, highest paid defensive coordinator in the country, and then you just spent all kind of other money with other transfers. This was supposed to be their year,
yeah,
and now you have three losses. And sometimes, even in big programs, 12 years for James Franklin and unable to really beat top five opponents, sometimes the writing's on the wall. Again, how long is too long? And I think right now the AD just said those two losses, UCLA, and then the backbreaker was Northwestern at Penn State.
yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even think he thought that he would be there after that loss. You could just see it on his face and his demeanor walking off that field. Like, this is the last time I'm walking on this particular field. Let's go to the Major League Baseball playoffs. Of course, you have the Seattle Mariners against the Toronto Blue Jays. And then on the other side, sorry about that, Cubs. You played a great season, but Milwaukee, just a little bit too strong. They're going up against the Dodgers. The Mariners and the Tigers, I think, are playing right now in the second game, and so we'll have updates on that if anything pretty much happens. But I thought the Cubs fought, and people were kind of talking here about how they got to the World Series and won it, winning elimination games. And they kind of thought it was going to kind of repeat itself, and it didn't. You just can't win that way. And Milwaukee was waiting up there in Wisconsin, waiting up there and saying, we're gonna smack you down because there's bad blood between the teams. There's bad blood between the teams. And I was talking to Pop about it, and he was like, if PCA can get a control of his emotions, he's gonna be a hell of a player. He is a hell of a player, but if he gets control of his emotions, he feels that the Cubs could go a long way next year. Your thoughts on Major League Baseball, man?
Yeah, I can see where you can mention that about the Cubs, but Milwaukee has been sitting pretty in that division for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were ready. And any teams that may be a little inferior, and maybe the Cubs are, they just smack them down. Milwaukee been playing like that all year long. I've been watching because they're connected in the same division with the Cincinnati Reds, right? So with that being said, you just kind of watching them waiting and waiting and waiting. So they made their move and they moved forward, and now they face the Dodgers. The question is, do they have the talent? And the reason why I say that is because the Dodgers, we know about the money, we know about
They're loaded.
Ohtani, who knows? Just they're loaded, and it's going to be very difficult. If Milwaukee can defeat them and move to the World Series, I will be so impressed, so impressed. But on the flip side, when you look at the AL, you look at what Seattle's been able to do, and Toronto taking down the Yankees. Toronto maybe would seem like they're ready because they beat the Yankees, but do not sleep on Seattle. That's actually my sleeper, if you will. I think they can go to the World Series. I think they can win it. I was looking yesterday, not like I'm a compulsive gambler. I was looking at the odds to see what it is for Seattle to win it all. Because I kind of like that, especially against the Dodgers. Because if the Dodgers do make it through, they're going to be the prohibitive favorite to win. And I like to get some of that Seattle money. But do not gamble. It's not good for you.
Gambling is not good for you sometimes.
Yeah.
Uh,
All the time. Don't gamble.
Gambling.
All the time.
Never mind. Yeah. I noticed that, and Pop mentioned this yesterday. We were talking that Milwaukee plays a lot of small ball. They're not trying to hit the home runs. They're getting moving guys around the bases, which is a recipe to win games. You know, especially when the other team likes to hit the home runs and they're not hitting. That could kind of move the bases, put points on the board, and get you along. But I'm looking forward to it. I've been enjoying Major League Baseball, the playoffs, ever since it started, and this is my time to watch it. What's on your mind, kid?
Well, this is going to be a little lighter this time. I know last time y'all probably like, man, he was talking all anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So my topic today is WNBA. Yeah, I know we never talk about WNBA, but we're going to now. I was very impressed by the Las Vegas Aces, who won their third title in 4 seasons, and they seem like they're off and on every other year. I like the way that their core of players that they have, from in regards to Gray. I think it's Jackson is the guard. I like their coach, but I have to say, I watched a lot of basketball. I like to watch a lot of women's basketball over the years, and Asia Wilson is a monster. And what I mean by monster, not calling her a beast, she out of control, whatever. She's one hell of a player. I like the way that she plays. She plays with enthusiasm and she plays with a confidence that is second to none. And I know she gets MVP votes and awards and stuff like that too. But when it's on the line and she has to play, she steps up. So congratulations to that team. Congratulations to her. And I'm happy for her because it seems like she's in love and she's in love with big old Bam. And they just, everything is good with her right now in her life. So congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to the Aces. And what's on my mind is I was talking to Pop about this, and he asked me, he's like, "What do you think about Belichick?" And I'm like, I'm like, it's just buy him out at this particular point. Let him be with this young girl, this young lady, and just ride retirement. It ain't for you, bro. It ain't for you. I know it's your first year, but I don't even know if he's focusing on football at this particular point. Because if I had a young lady at that age, if I had a lady that young, I couldn't focus on football. So I don't blame him. Take the buyout, bro. Take the buyout. Go do some commentating. Go, just take the buyout, man. I know you love football, Bill. I know you love football, but just take the buyout, man. Just enough is enough. Carolina was expecting to have some fight in college football, but come on, man, just take the buyout. Let's get another coach in there. Let's try to salvage the season. But enough is enough, as far as I'm concerned. I was looking forward to Carolina football this year. I was looking so forward to it. Like they got Bill Belichick, but he didn't bring Tom Brady, so that's what you get. That's what you get. Let's go. Pull the plug. All right, man. Last second shot, bro.
Yeah, last second shot. I am looking forward to basketball. Like I told you before, I've been watching a few NBA exhibition games. I've been watching some guys play together, chemistry wise. There's a lot of what ifs out there. I want to see that. And again, like I told you, I'm really interested in watching college basketball, men's and women's seasons coming up. A lot of things have been moving around, and it's just good to see. This is that time of year. I love hoops and I cannot wait for it to happen. I watched real quick. I watched the Houston Rockets the other night, and they're gonna be a problem. One because Durant plays real well with these young guys; they're all fired up. The other thing too is they play defense.
Yeah.
Shh, don't tell nobody they play defense. They're gonna be a problem. That's all I'm gonna say to you. If they stay healthy, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, my last second shot goes out to Mike Tomlin. Quit talking about other people's quarterback. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Talking about other people and who they decide to pick on their team. You know, I'm still not sold on Pittsburgh taking Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if you're in first place and all that stuff. I'm waiting for Aaron Rodgers to really show up. And so quit talking about other people's quarterback. You know, I'd rather you just field the question, look at the reporter, and walk away like you usually do. Quit talking about other people's quarterback and why they selected, what they do, and their GM does that. You know what? You live in a glass house. You live in a glass house. Stop. Stop doing that. That's our show. We'll be back next week. Take care.